All right, back at it. Finna try this one more time. I literally recorded for about an hour and the mic was off. So yeah, I had to take my ass to sleep. I was pissed. I'm finna run this back up, man. Finna get it. But we finna talk about this Bay influence in the GNX album. I didn't realize how much the Bay Kendrick had throughout the album. Different songs, it's just little things. A lot of E40's influence. Uh, he really gave 40 his flowers like this year. Like there's a bunch of stuff. Well, y'all see, I didn't even realize how much Kendrick like fuck with 40. Like he's a huge E40 fan, and you know, um, he give him his flowers. He's always giving shout outs to E40, like whether it be like something in the verse, like a song, or just an ad lib, or just hella little shit. But definitely throughout this GNX album, heavy Bay influence. And that's the first thing, I ain't the first thing I thought, but when I heard some of the beats, I was like, this shit make you just want to gig. I was like, this sound like something that would have, you know what I mean? Like something that would have came from the Bay, like straight out from the Bay. Like niggas would be turf dancing and just pulling up, slapping at the gas station, start dancing. Like that, give you that kind of vibe. But let's get to it. I ain't gonna keep y'all.
Dropped so far has been on a political day. The West Coast in this album bleeds through. As a Bay Area native, I really appreciated Kendrick giving the legend E40 his flowers. He's always showed 40 love from day one. He hopped on a song with 40 produced by 40's son, Droopy, called Catch a Fade years ago.
And I ain't never been a time or Jerry, pussy or a rat, pussy on my nutsack.
He also did
That was the first time I ever heard Kendrick on Catch a Fade. And that wasn't even I didn't really care for that song that much um on that album. I can't remember. I'm gonna look it up, but I can't remember what excuse me. My throat is dry. I can't remember exactly what album that was, but I remember when it came out, and that was the first time a lot of folks heard well from up top heard Kendrick.
a
Let's get back
song
to it.
called Rossi Wine with Droopy.
In the middle where the war zone I be on, sipping on a big bottle with that burgundy, motherfuck your styrofoam.
K-Dot would later shout out E40 on his song Money Trees, a single off his Good Kid, Mad City album.
Bump that new E40 at the school, you know big ballin' with my homies. Big ballin' with my homies.
Yeah,
But like that song that ignited the Civil War
Clever.
was an actual spin to E40's song
Oh, and that Charlie Hustle album still go crazy to this day. So y'all go run them streams up for 40 Water. That album, also all his old school shit still go crazy. I'm a big advocate for the old school Bay, the old Bay. I still listen to all E40 shit, Too Short, Keep the Sneak. Um, not so much, not a whole lot of Mac Dre. I got like my favorite Mac Dre songs and shit, but definitely 40, Keith, and Too Short. Let's get back to it.
Look at Me.
Selling lows, is you like that? All 24, you won't go, is you like that?
I'm like that. It's like that. What? I'm like that. It's
So I
like
didn't know
that.
that.
Which was featuring the entire
crazy.
Cash Money Millionaires, Big Timers, and the Hot Boys, which I thought was funny that he dissed Drake on a song his team was once on.
And all of them had they verses went crazy. I kind of remember how they verses. Baby was going on that. Juvie, um, I can't. Yeah, I think Turk was on that, but Wayne and Turk, that shit cracked me up when I listen to that shit now, because they was so young compared to everybody else. But Wayne voice, we're gonna do a video about Wayne later, man. And them drugs, them man.
And his bar on that track about Be Legit and 40 Water, who were in the group The Click, with Kendrick also referencing Tell Him When to Go when he says tell him. It was basically a shout out to E40's hit song Tell Him When to Go.
Niggas clicking up, but pay not be legit, no 40 water, tell 'em.
He would also channel E40 at the end of the Like That record.
Kicking doors, kicking.
And if you listen closely, he
Hey, I ain't gonna stop it. Like I ain't gonna keep stopping it throughout the whole thing. Just this part right here. Imagine how many times have you heard like that's E40 at the end of a verse, end of the song, he gonna say that bitch, right? How many as a fan, how many times have you tried to say it just like him? I'm talking about I've been trying for 20 some years, I still can't.
also shouts out 40's name twice at the end. He says 40 Water because that's another handle that E40 goes by. Speed up to his Ken and Friends concert, he would have E40 narrate it.
It's the Tactical Talking Partner E40, also known as 40 Water again. Tonight's been a beautiful sight to see so far. Sometimes all it takes is one domino to fall to get the momentum going. And the West Coast needed this reminder. And I'm proud of us in this moment. How fitting that it's on Juneteenth. This is a victory lap. Y'all know what I read. But man, as history has shown, there's always been a fire and a certain kind of spark coming up out of Compton especially. Y'all always rise from the ashes and rise to the occasion. You love when they count you out.
And honestly, I thought that was pretty dope. After the release of GNX, people would state that there was a couple of songs that E40 would have sounded perfect on as a feature. Hey Now and Peekaboo were two songs that people wanted to hear a verse from 40.
Now that he speaking on that, um where did I see it? Lefty Gunplay mentioned in a recent interview, I think it was last week. He was on the Boss Talk 101 with AD. And he was saying that um there's a deluxe album to GNX coming out. First thing I thought about when he said that, I'm like, what if the deluxe version has some remixes with Fody or some other artists on some songs, in addition to the artist that was on there or whatever? Or what if he just throw on a couple of more slaps onto that thing? So that's something to look out for, man.
And with Turn Your TV Off outro saying this.
Shit get crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious, crazy, scary.
That was a spin to a song E40 was on that his son Droopy produced called Stewie.
I remember that too.
I mean, the E40
That
influence
shit
was
slapped,
intense on this album. On his video Squabble Up, he would show love to different cultures of California. On the Bay Area scene, he would pay homage to the hyphy movement, using the same dancers from 40's old video called Catch a Fade, featuring K-Dot.
Well, and
The
you
third
had
thing.
been in another.
Before we watch this part, I just want y'all to shout out to Dregs One, History of the Bay podcast. He's a very talented interviewer, and he's very he does his research, and he does some dope interviews. I'm talking about literally from everybody from the Bay, from the artists, the younger generation, the older generation, producers. This was his first interview with dancers. These are the turf fiends, and they are like some of the originators of the turf dancing. So check it
In
out.
the other Kendrick video.
Two more. I forget. It's the one with E40 and Droopy had made.
Catch a Fade.
Yeah, Catch a Fade and We Gonna Be Alright.
We Gonna Be Alright. Yeah, which was shot on Treasure Island, right?
But
and in
I had a
Oakland,
scene
too.
at Lake Merritt the day before because they had the inspiration from the Black Panthers pictures right there.
Right.
So they was trying to get something right there. 'Cause when we did the Catch a Fade, I ain't even. Fody had to tell us who he was. I'm like, I ain't never
Right.
heard of Kendrick Lamar. Like,
Right,
what? You
right.
ain't never heard of Kendrick Lamar?
They are
I'm
seen
heard them
doing the
too.
same dance movements in both videos.
I checked my IG. Then bruh hit me, the director from the video. Calmatic. He had me. He like, man, what's going on, man? It's time now, man. I need you out here for this, man. It's time. If nobody knew it was a Kendrick shoot though.
Sure.
Because they was under contract, so couldn't nobody say nothing.
Had you worked with Calmatic before?
Never.
Okay, so it's just communicating. Like, I like what you're doing. I see
Yep.
it. What you will.
Just that, bro. That's it. Just being a person.
Okay, so Calmatic hits you. Come to LA. How many days in advance was this?
It wasn't no days in advance. It was a day.
It was
in
a
advance.
day, like come a couple tomorrow. Hours.
Yeah.
Come tomorrow. How long before the video dropped did you get this call? How long did it take?
Oh no! All right, so I found out
that was in August.
The video, we shot that back
shot
in
this in August.
Yeah.
So it was just under wraps. You didn't know what you had done. You was just sitting on it.
And
this
I was
whole
on the
time.
contract. So I'm not about to say,
Wow. So you signed NDAs and all that.
So
wow.
So I shot that months ago.
One of the dancers were even seen wearing a.
That's crazy. Imagine how many more slaps Kendrick just got sitting. He just waiting to drop. Like they shot this video in August. Ain't no telling how long he had the song. But what August? We got September, October, November, December. They shot the video 4 months ago to the song. But I'm saying, imagine how much more music he got left, or not left, but he got just waiting to drop, bro. I think 25 finna go crazy.
Particular hyphy shirt. This shirt was worn by E40's son Droopy in a magazine spread
That's
about the
Turk talking
hyphy
in red
movement
next
dated
to it.
all the way back to 2006.
Did they tell you to rock that gear or?
Oh no! So they had stylists, bro.
Whoa! So they were intentional about having y'all dressed that way.
That specific era.
Whoa!
That's why I said that was an emotional attachment to that clothing, because it's like you remember so many people. When you see people dressed like that, you remember so many people. You remember what you was doing. You remember your clothes like that. So
I remember them orange.
They
double
provided the
stacks,
scraper
yeah,
bikes.
I think they made those from scratch.
That's crazy.
And they
bro.
had the stylist.
Was the inspiration for that the Trunk Boys? Was that?
I think because that gold bike is exactly from
the Trunk Boys. For y'all that don't know, they had a hit song and that went crazy in the Bay during the hyphy movement. Cupcake No Feeling, and the remix had everybody on it from the Bay. Go run that back up.
that Trunk Boys video, right?
Wow. Yeah, I think
I wrote
so.
my script. Yeah.
I mean, it's little Easter eggs like that will have you wondering what else are we missing here. It's amazing how he places these Easter eggs in his material. The Bay is known for starting the Black Panther Party, the movement that went against white supremacy led by Huey Newton, with the flags representing Black America. He would double down on the end scene with a Black Panther statue to the left. This served as a double entendre, which that Black Panther served as nostalgia for the millennials and previous gens. Those statues was in everyone's granny's and auntie's house back in the 90s by the fireplace. Also, he did the Black Panther album for Disney. He overseen that whole entire album. And I have yet to hear people compare Black Panther album to GNX, and I feel like GNX sounds like a part two, a continuation, if that, to Black Panther. That album he overseen was a West Coast anthem. He had brought the West together for that album as well. Besides the features with SZA and The Weeknd, one song in particular called Paramedic by SOB/RBE, a Vallejo, California rap group from the Bay Area. That song in particular, they started off with Kendricks saying Killmonger. You know what I mean? You knew this was in Killmonger's perspective. They were talking.
Yeah, they not together no more. But the one you seen with the in the red hoodie with the afro, that's the boy. He been going crazy ever since they split, and for the last 2 years he been going crazy, and he be gassing. Slimmy B too.
About putting their fists up like the Black Panthers in that song.
Run
The
his-
Black
run his
Panther
things
movie's
up.
opening scene was in Oakland, California, with the Huey Newton picture in the background. Also, Kendrick is known to shout out Huey Newton and the Black Panthers in all kinds of tracks before this. So it's not, this isn't new. This isn't anything new that he hasn't done before. He shouts out the Black Panthers all the time. There are two flags that I feel represent Huey Newton and Bobby Seale. The symbolism is deeply poetic. What began as Drake's controversial lyric mocking Black Americans by referencing slavery has ignited Kendrick's activist stance. Kendrick's renewed emphasis on celebrating American and West Coast culture serves as a direct response. It's important to remember that Drake attempted to weaponize the West Coast
Every picture of
legends
him just
against
annoyed me
Kendrick
now.
using AI-generated voices. further intensifying the conflict.
Right, baby.
Ultimately, this represents another full circle moment, a layered double meaning, standing strong in the identity of being a Black American from the West Coast. So for him not to have to worry about getting blackballed and all that, he's not going to show the actual Black Panther logos. He's going to show symbolism. We know that that Black American flag wasn't made for the Black Panther Party, but there's a reason why he showed those two flags in a Bay Area scene. Oakland and the Bay will let you know that we know our roots. You also see a book that Kendrick Lamar is reading saying how to be Kendrick for Dummies or something like that. I thought that was dope because even though it's saying what it's saying, it's teaching these lames how to be Kendrick basically. Like this is how you be a real nigga type thing. Out here in the Bay,
dummy.
we use the
About
word
everything.
dummy a lot. Go dumb, get stupid,
Yeah,
go dummy.
dumbass
You
queen,
feel me?
dumbass
And then
hat.
finally, the painting to the right on the ground with the Black Jesus pictures. That was also very nostalgic because it was hung in our family's houses. However, there was a sign covering it with a 40 price tag, which I feel was another shout out to E40. Not calling 40 Jesus or nothing like that, but just a way of showing the number 40. E40 doesn't get enough credit. He doesn't get his flowers. And this whole thing from the start of the beef all the way to GNX, Kendrick showed the Bay and 40 a lot of love, and I respect him for that. The vibes gave me a Raphael Sadiq from Tony, who is an Oakland native, and some Too Short as well. But for the most part, almost all the tracks sound like an E40 beat. People tend to lump the Bay Area and LA together as if they're interchangeable when it comes to music. LA and the Bay Area are 6 to 7 hours apart by car, and their music scenes reflect that distance. In hip hop, the Bay Area is often grouped with LA. It doesn't get the recognition it deserves as a pioneer of the genre.
The biggest thing I see about you is everybody say you stole Oakland sound.
Yeah.
Who said that? I didn't catch it.
You was here.
Man, I'm gonna have to do a video on that, man. We're gonna have to. It'll be dope. I'm gonna do it in the car though with the slap, so I'm gonna have to wait till I get back home. But definitely when Mustard came out, I thought he was a producer from the Bay. When Tiger came out, I thought he was from the Bay because of the beats he was on from Mustard. They all from LA. But that's a subject. Yeah, we got to talk about that, man. But shout out to Mustard, man. He been going crazy. Um, I'm talking about early Mustard with YG Tiger. He had the Ty Dolla Sign. He had the radio on lock. Everything, all the functions, everything. The Bay loved that, and we thought he was a producer from the Bay for real. And that's why it was like an issue. From I guess people felt like this is a Bay sound. You can't say that ain't a Bay vibe. Them beats, right? Like that's the first thing you thought of was gigging and turfing to it or something. Um, just everything, the vibe of all the beats, majority of the beats he used to make. But he never had a like did a song collab with no Bay Area artist. So that was like I mean, from my understanding, there was a like that was the issue. It was like how you got this sound that you could tell was heavily influenced from up north, but you don't work with no Bay Area artists. So that was like kind of like a slap in the face. But man, it's all love. Get
I
back
thought it was
to
here,
it.
but
Of
I didn't
course
catch
you
it
was
though.
here.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah,
What they say?
Mustard, man. It's the bass sound.
I forgot
I ain't
who it
gonna say
was.
his
Who
name.
said that?
Well, let's see
I
who's
don't
up
know.
here. Say Gemini was up here.
Nah, I wouldn't say
You
it.
talking about
Who
Mr.
else
They
was
just
up in the
Fab?
Bay?
cool
I forgot it. Wasn't he 40?
Nah,
It
I'm
was
wearing
Mr.
E40
Fab.
You got an
t-shirt.
Wasn't
E40
he
shirt on
40?
now.
Who the hell said that? I don't remember.
Must have been Keisha Cole.
Do you care
Nah,
though?
playing
do I
with me.
care?
Yeah.
Nah, I got.
It just sometimes get disappointing that the
Mr.
Bay
Fab
Area
said
doesn't
that.
have more advocates or representation for its undeniable contributions to hip hop. With artists like Kendrick Lamar, who genuinely knows and loves the West Coast culture the way that he does, it shows. You could tell he studied the game from every angle because he doesn't just rep one part. He doesn't just represent where he's from. which is LA.
Yeah,
He
he repped the
shows
whole
love to
Cali.
the entire West Coast. You could
Hmm.
really feel that energy throughout the GNX album. You could truly feel the LA and the Bay culture in one. But at the end of the day, we're all one coast and we're all one big family. We're just distant relatives. This is
Hmm.
our coast, this is our family. And like any family, we got our own inner
Only
problems, but
400
it
miles
doesn't
away.
matter. We still family and we riding. Kendrick Lamar implemented the sounds of the West as a whole, from the Bay to LA, from the hyphy movement to the Quiet Storm, and then the G-Funk. And I'll be sharing my perspective.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it there as far as his commentary. But yeah, I feel Kendrick he was heavily influenced, man. And that's how artists do it. They give their shout outs to, who influenced them or what movements, what time periods, in the music evolution, hip hop evolution that really inspired them or moved them to get down, how they get down. So shout out to Dot, man. I feel like this album, he was really doing it though. Like the past year, even though I like that was on Future's album, but like that, yeah, that was um a sample to E40 song. It's like that with Cash Money. Like it's little stuff. Kendrick hella smart. He was strategic. Excuse me, yo. Like that man is the master. That's why so many videos going up now, just trying to figure out exactly everything, like his lyrics, like what they could potentially mean and shit. But he did that because he paying attention. He just gave everybody hella content, whether it's about him and Drake, whether it's about song for trying to break down the lyrics in each song, whether it's about Mr. Schultz, punk ass, um, or whether it's about the tour. We're talking about the new art, the artists that are on the that is featured on the on GNX. We're still talking about the comparison to the older albums, and they're giving breakdowns of the older songs. Like he just and all the conspiracy theories and stuff. Like he just gave the internet, the world, hella content to talk about. Like that's raw. Like that boy go crazy. But I feel like he was, shouting out the bait tough and on this album. So that's like a for everybody to open their eyes up. A lot of folks from down in SoCal, a lot of folks from the Bay. Like before I watched this video, I didn't even realize this stuff. But I feel like that's Kendrick trying to bring us together to be strong. California strong, man. California, we the biggest state. Texas is wide as hell, but California is the biggest state. Drive from Chula Vista, right there by Mexico, all the way up to the top to the like the border by Oregon. You're not gonna drive that in one day, bro. You could drive across Texas in a day. Like I could drive because I do this for a living, but you want to drive all of California, like driving from Chula Vista is 2.5 hours from the I. It's like 2 hours past the IE. The IE is like an hour and some change past LA. So we're talking about like 3.5 hours past LA. You get to San Diego, Chula Vista and shit. This is way at the bottom of California. LA is 400 miles from the Bay. Now I don't know how y'all be driving, but that's about a 5 hour drive. You doing 80. Do the math. That's about a 5 hour drive. Sac is about an hour and a half past the Bay. Um, well, I mean, if we're talking like Fairfield, like the last cities of the Bay, Sac is like less than an hour from. But if we're talking about Frisco or Oakland, um, that's about yeah, that's about an hour and a half with no traffic. But I feel like everybody, like Kendrick, is trying to tell SoCal, NorCal to get together, do these collabs, they show love to one another. If you fuck with this artist, you listen to this artist from the other side of Cali, give them a shout out. Let people know who they are in the interviews. Like, don't be afraid to show love to the other side of SoCal because this person going up, and you just, you want your attention on you as you should for the interview, but we need to show more love to one another um, between the two areas and do a lot. We need to collab more. We need to collab more. It'd be dope as fuck if all the especially the younger artists. If all the artists is going crazy right now, start collabing from the Bay, from SAC, from Fresno, Modesto, um, Stockton. If everybody from the whole NorCal, from all over NorCal, and from all over SoCal start collabing and vibing together, doing shows, like doing these, like you could just hit a West Coast tour. You can start by Mexico, go all the way up to Spokane, Washington, and then shoot. Everybody see how successful it was. All right, now hit the whole circuit from the Midwest back to the West, and then check out all the other pockets that really rock with the California music. And there's a lot of I'm speaking right now specifically for NorCal. It's a lot of pockets, a lot of areas of um, that there's a fan base that the artists I don't even think they know about, but because they haven't tapped into it. Now I was watching Yuck Mouth when he was on Drink Champs with Fab and Too Short. He was talking about how they used to tour. They used to go to Sweden, Amsterdam, Germany, and specifically for them doing concerts. They wasn't opening up for some. They might have been opening up for somebody, but these were specific Bay Area like tours for the Bay artists overseas. That's a bag overseas that everybody missing out on. I ain't heard none of the new artists talking about they performing overseas or even talking about a fan base over there. That's a bag that you probably won't even. So what if you don't go mainstream? You could make millions touring. Look at Tech Nine. But I'm saying everybody ain't no Tech Nine though. I'm just saying you could make uh, a good living just off of touring within this country. You don't even have to go to the East Coast at all to run it up every year. If you actually a talented artist, creative, you ain't got to be no Kendrick. You don't got to be like these super like you could tell. I can't even describe it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You could just go crazy. You got some gas. You got you got just your beat selection is good. Um, you got some bars you be gassing. You know how to ride the beat. You put out some good visuals, this or that. People gonna rock with you. You make good music, people gonna listen, man. But I'm saying there's so much money out there. Like literally from Texas or from well, I'm in Chicago right now. Chicago, Texas, Michigan. They mess with us tough. Um, like Nebraska, Omaha, shit like that. Um, There's just pockets that they don't tap into. You gotta really tap into that shit. Um, they're still getting the truck worked on, y'all. So that's in the background. But yeah, go check out the new music. All the Bay artists, all the SoCal artists, everybody that was on the pop out. Go listen to them. And they was all popping. Like they didn't blow up just because of the pop out. They was on the pop out because they was already popping. Um, but go check out everybody. Go tap into the NorCal scene, SoCal. See everybody from the Bay. Go check out them artists in SoCal. They going crazy. I listen to everybody now. I used to just listen to. I ain't gonna say all the time. So I listen to a lot of the old school Bay too. But I'm more open to listening to new artists and stuff. And I am from the Bay to SoCal, and from even artists out of state like Washington Arizona, Vegas, so forth. So this was a dope. That was a dope video. Shout out to Deleted. Y'all go run his views up one time. I'm gone.